Evan was just a curious college student, a computer science major, who spent his late nights exploring the hidden corners of the internet. One evening he stumbled upon a hidden link called the Black Archive on a dark web forum. The page claimed it held records of those who'd explored parts of the dark web better left undisturbed. Intrigued, Evan clicked the link. The screen went black, and a message appeared, "Do you wish to proceed? Beware once you enter, there is no escape." Laughing it off, Evan clicked yes. He found himself looking at a list of names. Each name was followed by a date of death. Every death was brutal and detailed, along with strange symbols beside each entry that Evan couldn't understand. He scrolled down, finding name after name, each with a worse ending than the last. After digging further, Evan realized each entry was linked to something called the Collective. Every member who'd accessed the Black Archive had suffered some inexplicable fate. It appeared like an underground game, where users dared each other to solve puzzles, complete tasks, or dare the archive. The deeper Evan went, the clearer it became that the Collective wasn't just some internet game, it was an ancient network of hackers, cultists, and, as the rumors suggested, paranormal entities. A chat box suddenly popped up on Evan's screen. "Welcome, Evan. You've been chosen." Unnerved, Evan closed his laptop, but the message wouldn't go away. It was burned into his screen, as if it had embedded itself into his device. The next day, Evan found an envelope slipped under his door with no return address. Inside was a USB stick, engraved with strange symbols matching those from the Black Archive. Against his better judgment, he plugged it in. A video file began to play, showing dark, grainy footage of a room. Inside, someone sat tied to a chair, writhing and screaming, surrounded by occult symbols. The figure on screen had his face blurred, but his voice was unmistakable. It was his roommate, Leo, who'd been missing for days. Along with the video was a set of instructions. He was told to find specific locations in his city, each with hidden clues. If he wanted to save Leo, he'd have to visit each site and solve the puzzles. But the rules were clear: he could tell no one, or Leo would face the consequences. Evan went to the first location, a derelict abandoned hospital on the edge of town. He found symbols on the walls that matched those on the USB. At each site, he discovered macabre artifacts, charred dolls, broken watches stopped at 3:33, and photos of other victims. Every clue brought him closer to uncovering a twisted, hidden layer of his own city. As he progressed, he realized he was being followed. A figure dressed in a hooded black cloak kept appearing in his peripheral vision, always vanishing before he could confront it. The presence left a chill each time, like he was being shadowed by death itself. After 3 days of playing the game, Evan received a text message on his phone. It was a live streaming link. Against his instincts, he opened it. Leo was still alive, but barely. Around him, the masked figures in black cloaks chanted something in a guttural language, seemingly lost in trance. Then he saw something that made his blood freeze. Behind Leo, hanging on the wall, was a photo of him, Evan, with the words "next in line." It dawned on him the Black Archive wasn't just a list of victims, it was a recruitment ritual. The Collective wasn't after just anyone, they wanted people who would willingly walk into their trap. He was part of a sick initiation, one he couldn't escape. Desperate, Evan tried to back out of the game, refusing to solve the final clue. But as soon as he closed his laptop, his phone buzzed with an unknown number. A voice whispered, "The archive demands your loyalty. Complete the task, or suffer the consequences." His heart sank as he heard muffled screams. It was his sister's voice. She hadn't even known he was involved in this. Left with no choice, he solved the final clue and arrived at the last location, a crumbling basement in an abandoned factory. There, he found Leo, but something was wrong. Leo wasn't tied up. He stood there, unharmed, holding a mask, a black hooded cloak draped over his arm. He smirked as he handed Evan the cloak. "Welcome," Evan, Leo said with a sinister smile. "You've completed the initiation." In shock, Evan tried to run, but the door slammed shut. The cloaked figures surrounded him, each chanting his name. One by one, they revealed their faces: his professors, his friends, even strangers he'd crossed paths with in the past week. They had all been part of the Collective, guiding him towards this moment. Evan now understood the Black Archive was a list that was never meant to end. Once your name was added, there was no escape. He became part of the archive, trapped in its dark web underbelly, forced to initiate others like him. And each name he added to the archive meant extending his own life at the cost of others. But soon Evan's turn will come again. The archive always demands a new soul.